The Rams have a golden opportunity and it could be a perfect fit. We are talking about another possible trade target for the Rams that just made themselves available. And we're talking about much more all on today's episode of the Rams Digest. I'm your host, Joshua Giron. Remember, if you guys are not subscribed to the channel, do me a favor. Press that subscribe button now, as roughly 65.2% of you guys are watching the videos already, but you're still not pressing that subscribe button. All I'm saying is if you're already watching, might as well press that subscribe button so you don't miss any daily Rams content here at the Rams Digest. Let's get into the biggest news of the day. I'm sure you guys already know where we're going, especially because in the intro video we showed you guys where we're going a little bit. But the Rams, they have a golden opportunity to take advantage of a team that is struggling to kind of maintain this relationship with their superstar player. Yes, we are talking about the Dallas Cowboys having an issue maintaining the relationship with Micah Parsons. And at this point, it's pretty rough right now. We'll talk details about the Micah Parsons and Dallas Cowboys situation in a second, but what are the odds the Rams trade for Micah Parsons? It's a serious question, right? Of course, yesterday, right, we talked about Terry McLaurin, and I said right away, no, it's not happening. The Rams don't need another receiver. He wants to get paid now. He wants to get paid a lot right now, and ultimately it doesn't make sense for the Rams to even try to think about making that work. But with Micah Parsons, he's younger. He's still on his rookie contract, technically speaking, but he is in his fifth-year option of that rookie contract. He wants to get paid now as well, but I think we can all agree Micah Parsons is a different type of player than Terry McLaurin. Terry McLaurin will make your offense incredible with three great receivers. Micah Parsons would make your defense incredible, but at another level than what Terry McLaurin brings to the table. Not to compare the two, but in all reality, Micah Parsons is arguably a top 5 player period in the NFL, right? And so ultimately here there's a lot of details to talk about this. So first, let's talk about the relationship with Micah and the Dallas Cowboys. Micah Parsons went on social media today. He talked about this is officially from him, from a notes app, mind you, basically not only saying that he's requesting a trade, but he tried his best. He explained everything about the relationship with the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones, the Jones family. He says in detail, hey, look, I don't want to be here anymore because of X, Y, and Z. A lot of it having to do with the way they've handled their contract negotiations with him and his agent, or maybe lack thereof, the handling of that conversation, because the Cowboys seem to not be interested or not had those conversations with Micah Parsons' agent. The Cowboys seem to want to do things the old school kind of way and just talk to the player so that way they can take advantage of the player who doesn't understand contracts as much as the agents do. That's very, very unfair, obviously. And so Micah Parsons, rightfully so, is very upset with how the front office and the ownership team over there is kind of making a mess of the situation, as the Cowboys typically seem to do, right? But we're talking about the Rams potentially having an opportunity to go out and get Micah Parsons. Well, here are the odds right now. Now, sportsbook odds aren't the tell-all of what the reality is. Any team can swoop in and make a crazy offer for Micah Parsons and ultimately get the deal done. But here are the odds from DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, they have the Los Angeles Rams sitting at about the 7th best odds in terms of all the NFL, right? So the rest of the odds went Cowboys are his next team to stay. So obviously they're expecting, at most, expecting him to stay with the Cowboys. We can talk about that in a second. Philadelphia Eagles, his technically home state of Pennsylvania. Micah Parsons is from Pennsylvania. I think he grew up a Cowboys fan, though. New England's Patriots, the Chargers, the Arizona Cardinals, and the San Francisco 49ers all have better odds to potentially land Micah Parsons than the Rams. But then the Rams slide in again at that 7th best odds to be the ones who end up getting Micah Parsons. So not the best of odds out there, but ultimately, again, sportsbooks doesn't really matter. The truth of the matter is, one, the Rams are in the conversation, but two, why are we having this conversation? Is it really possible? Well, I do think we could talk detail about the contracts and how it would fit. I think the Rams, any team in the NFL, when you have an opportunity to get a player like this, when he comes out and very clearly, obviously states, I don't want to be here anymore, I think you have to pick up the phone. Les Snead has to pick up the phone and call, especially when you look at what you've done so far with your defense with a guy like Jared Verse. I think Jared Verse and Micah Parsons are similar-esque players in the sense of they go, and go get the quarterback. And that is kind of what I think the Rams can clearly see. All right, that fits what they do on defense. It works what they want to do on defense. Now, you can argue you have Braden Fisk, you have Byron Young, and we'll talk about the roster in a second. But generally speaking, when you have an opportunity to get a player this good, you call and you try to get a player this good. But in terms of Micah Parsons and his relationship, I do want to state this. The betting odds still say he stays with the Cowboys. I said this yesterday when we were talking about Terry McLaurin and his trade request. I think this is more of these players saying, you don't think I'm serious? Here is an official trade request to show you that I'm serious. You either trade me or pay me, 2 options, or I'm not playing for you anymore. And that is, I think, the leverage they are trying to use as players. I think it's leverage that we've seen like NBA players use, right, in the NBA to get kind of more power over the owners and the general managers in that league. And I think the NFL players are realizing with social media how much power they truly do have, as no team wants to see a disgruntled superstar on their roster publicly saying they don't want to be playing for their team anymore. So that is where it stands. I think they're using their leverage, and I think it may work, especially for guys like Micah Parsons, maybe even Terry McLaurin, as those are big names that can say, hey, look, I don't want to be here anymore, or you pay me. 2 options. I think those guys will likely get it done and get contracts done and stay with their respective teams. But Micah Parsons does seem very, very upset with the situation out in Dallas, and so it does kind of raise some eyebrows and make you pose the question, of course, is this even possible for the Rams to do? It would be difficult. And the reason why I say this, rookie contract, you perk your ears up a little bit. But ultimately, look at Micah Parsons since 2021. He's been on the Cowboys. So if you go to 2025, he is 26 years old. He has a club team option, as it is obviously his 5th-year option that the Cowboys have picked up this year. They have not extended him beyond that 5th-year option. And the 5th-year option for Micah Parsons was paying him and is going to pay him $24 million next year. So it's not his typical what he was getting early in his career, $3 million, $4 million, $5 million on the cap. No, his 5th-year option jumps his cap hit up to $24 million. And that's a very key point here. If you can't fit him under your cap space, you can't fit him on your roster altogether. And that is the issue the Rams would probably face. Again, when it comes to a player of the caliber of Micah Parsons, you make the trade, you extend the contract, you figure out the cap space that way, because when you do extend a player, you're able to kind of maneuver the cap hit, maybe push the cap hit to later years, so that way it's cheaper now against the cap. And there's all things that GMs and owners can really do when it comes down to managing that cap space. So the cap space I'm not too concerned about. The Rams do have about, I think, $19 million in cap space. So they can possibly make this work, especially maybe they throw a piece to the Cowboys, maybe a defensive player. You don't really need Byron Young anymore if you get Micah Parsons. I wouldn't trade Braden Fisk. He's a more bigger body kind of edge rusher. I like that fit for the Rams. So maybe you kind of throw in a Byron Young, for example. Don't know if that's what everyone wants, but I'm just simply saying, hey, look, we're talking about Micah Parsons here, right? Ultimately, it's a lot. It would be a lot of work for the Rams to make it work. It'd be a lot of work to try to make Micah Parsons work for you. But ultimately, when you have an opportunity to get a player this good, I think you have to really heavily consider going after that player. Don't want to talk about this too much longer, but looking at the defensive line for the Rams, it's already really good. Imagine taking off Byron Young and replacing that name with Micah Parsons. That is a very huge difference in terms of what your defense looks like when you have Micah Parsons on one side, Jared Verse rushing the passer on the other, along with Braden Fisk now coming off in rotation with Puka Nacua and Kobe Turner handling the middle of the field. I think that is a very different team, a very scary team for teams. We already saw what this team could do again in the playoffs against a good team, right? What can Micah Parsons do with this D-line as well if you make that trade happen? That is the key here. Will it happen? I don't know. If I had to put my money on it right now, I would say Micah Parsons remains a Dallas Cowboy. They fix the relationship and they extend the contract. But the Cowboys have done crazier things in the past. I don't know if they've ever done anything this crazy, by the way, trading away a Micah Parsons type player in his very, very much in his prime. We'll have to wait and see if they do something like that. But ultimately, something I think the Rams should call about, something I think we shouldn't hold our breath about with the Rams and them being involved at all in any capacity. But it would be a pretty crazy opportunity to take advantage of. Moving on from that, last but not least, my favorite part of the episode, trivia of the day, where I ask a trivia question. You give your trivia guesses down below in the comment section. Whether you're right or whether you're wrong, we give a shout out on the next episode that I'm on here at the Rams Digest. I know I've been on back-to-back weeks or back-to-back episodes. I believe we're going to have Joshua Feinhersh back possibly tomorrow night, Saturday, or probably most likely Sunday. He'll be back ready to roll. In the meantime, I'll still be here. Hopefully you guys aren't too tired of me yet. For the trivia of the day, last episode, if you missed it, here was the trivia question we asked everyone. It was trivia of the day number 99, so we had to go with an Aaron Donald question, of course. What pick was Aaron Donald in the 2014 NFL Draft? We had a few options for you all to guess. The multiple choice options were, was he drafted A, 2nd overall, B, 10th overall, C, 13th overall, or D, 18th overall? A few of you guys played along with the trivia last episode. If you missed it, no worries. We'll play some more trivia in a second. Sorry, the screenshot's a little small here. But Floyd says 10th pick in the first round. Steven says 13th. Juan says, what's up, Josh? Keep doing what you're doing. Appreciate you, Juan. Player supporting our squad. Appreciate you. I play Madden every year. Don't care how old I am. I still play. I still play every year. I'm not a fan of the game. I feel like they can make it better, but I still play as well, Juan. I think it keeps me young, but on the trivia, I believe he was 10th overall. Go Rams. Appreciate you, Juan. Blake says, thanks for shouting out a blind guy. Still a fan from St. Louis. Appreciate you, Blake, every single time. Shout out to St. Louis. Shout out to all you Rams fans out in St. Louis. Sorry if you hear my dog shaking her collar over there. I am stuck between B and the C, but I think we had the 10th pick that year, so I'm going to go with B10. Either way, 99 is my favorite Ram of all time. I shed a tear when he retired. Appreciate you, Blake. I agree. One of my favorite Rams players. I have 2 Aaron Donald jerseys. I think he's not only one of the greatest Rams of all time, I think he's one of the greatest NFL defensive players. Actually, one of the greatest NFL players, period, of all time. Crowherd says, before you gave the multiple choice options, number 13 was stuck in my head. Now that you said 10th, for some reason, that also seems correct, but I'm going with my first instinct, which was number 13. Appreciate you, Crowherd. Maybe you're right, maybe wrong. We'll see. Earl says a big 13th pick in the first round. Glider says 13th pick, best pick Jeff Fisher ever made. And then Manuel says messed up on the year 2014 because he previously commented something wrong here, but it's all good. It was 13th. First round, 13th overall pick in 2014. And then the Real J. Will says, I was too late for the previous video trivia. Not used to you going back to back. We'll get used to it, the Real J. Will. No, I'm just joking. Joshua Feinhersh will be back soon. Terry Mack is 30 and too old as he's asking for 30 mil a season. Appreciate you saying that. Maybe you might be right about his age. AD was number 13th overall in that draft. Appreciate all of you guys for playing along. I don't care how much time it takes to go through all of you guys' names. I want to make sure I shout out every single one of you who play Trivia of the Day because I always appreciate when you guys play. The correct answer for today's Trivia of the Day, or yesterday's Trivia of the Day, was Aaron Donald was drafted with the 13th overall pick in the draft in 2014. So, shout out to Steven. Shout out to... who else here? A lot of you guys, man. A lot of you guys. Shout out to... Crowherd, who went with his instinct, appreciate you. Shout out to Earl. Shout out to Glider, and shout out to Manuel, as well as the Real J. Will. Appreciate all of you guys for getting it correct. Appreciate everyone for guessing, whether you're right or whether you're wrong. Always appreciate you guys for playing along. Again, if you want to play along with today's Trivia of the Day and get a shout out just like these folks in the next episode that I'm on here, go ahead and play along with today's Trivia of the Day, which is this question here. Trivia of the Day number 100. Gotta give a shout out to that. I wanted to make it special, so we made it kind of special with the 100 career sacks number. Trivia of the Day number 100. Again, appreciate all of you guys for playing along with 100 different trivia questions. Which NFL player was the fastest to reach 100 career sacks, doing it in fewer games than any player in history? Trivia of the Day number 100. We got some multiple choice options for you guys. Which NFL player was the fastest to reach 100 career sacks, doing it in fewer games than any player in history? Was it A, Lawrence Taylor? Was it B, Reggie White? Was it C, Aaron Donald? Or was it D, J.J. Watt? Again, which player in NFL history was the fastest to reach 100 career sacks, doing it in fewer games than any other player? A, Lawrence Taylor, B, Reggie White, C, Aaron Donald, or D, J.J. Watt? Give your guesses down below in the comment section. Whether you're right or whether you're wrong, we'll give you a shout out on the next episode that I'm on here at the Rams Digest. Other than that, that's going to do it for me on today's episode of the Rams Digest. Hope you all subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. That's going to do it for me. I am your host, Joshua Giron, and I am out.